Hello to everyone. Welcome to join the webinar of Valuable Human Rights Rooted in Our Hearts, the 14th anniversary of the acquittal of Tai Ji Men. I would like to invite all of you watching this video to pay attention to the unjust case, Tai Ji Men fake case that has lasted for more than a quarter of a century, which has drawn the attention of the whole world. A Qigong martial arts group with tens of thousands of people who suffered from national violence for more than 25 years, but still kept on fighting for justice and traveled to more than 100 countries around the world because of the love, peace, and human rights rooted in their hearts. At the beginning of today's forum, we would like to share a video with you.
We asked you and those following us by Zoom or YouTube to be here today for a very important human rights case. It's now several years I have spoken in various fora, including international human rights events and academic conferences about the Tai Ji Men case. And I'm always afraid that some misunderstanding may happen, because I fully understand it will be a logical reaction to say that's a very complicated Taiwanese tax law, so let's take it to Taiwanese lawyers and they should solve it. But that's a total misunderstanding. It is not, and it never was, a pure tax case. As we said, it's on two accounts a human rights case. First, it's a human rights case because the first human right is freedom of religion or belief. And this case started in '96 when there was a massive denial of freedom of religion or belief in the post-authoritarian Taiwanese context. Whatever happened in subsequent years derives from this fundamental violation of freedom of religion and belief, and continues to be, to this very day, a violation of freedom of religion or belief. As Willy Fautré said, it is also a violation of human rights because it's a case of administrative corruption. As the United Nations have recognized, corruption is a violation of human rights. It prevents citizens from enjoying their human rights. And so it's a serious problem of corruption. Even the US State Department, in their yearly human rights report, they praise Taiwan in many accounts, and rightly so, but they say Taiwan has a problem of bureaucratic corruption it should solve. And the Tai Ji Men case is a case where human rights of the Tai Ji Men community were violated through corruption. Is it a tax case? Is it a human rights case? But it's not an academic question, it's a very practical question. Because if it was a pure tax case, that's something to be solved by Taiwanese lawyers. Why bother to come to Washington, D.C. and discuss this case? Well, the answer is precisely because it's not primarily, and certainly it's not exclusively a tax case. It's a case of human rights. It is an established, recognized principle that it is the right and the duty of the international community to protect human rights. And it's needed that the international community takes an interest, as it is doing, and takes a stand in the violation of the Tai Ji Men human rights in Taiwan. Let me conclude with personal remarks. I'm Italian, and in Italy we have this expression of a dialogue of deaf people. Two deaf people try to talk to each other, but they cannot have a dialogue. So in this case, we have on the one hand, the Tai Ji Men dizi. Many Taiwanese scholars from leading universities, they are not dizi, but they have written about this case. And growingly, dozens of international scholars and human rights activists who have participated in conferences and seminars and webinars about the Tai Ji Men case, and they all say, look, it's a question of freedom of religion or belief, and it's a question of human rights. And on the other hand, we have the Taiwanese authorities, which said, sorry, but for the year 92, the statute of limitation has expired, so there is nothing we can do. But this is false because it's an internationally recognized principle that when gross violations of human rights are acknowledged, the situation should always be rectified. And if there is no administrative remedy, there is always a political remedy. That we live in an historical moment when Taiwan needs a maximum of support from its international friends, but a precondition for this support to be effective is for Taiwan to put its own house in order and get rid of these ghosts of its authoritarian past, settle the scores of the authoritarian past, and solve the cases coming from the authoritarian past. And today, the biggest score to be settled, the one generating the most massive domestic and international protest, is the Tai Ji Men case. It is not because we are against Taiwan, it's the contrary. It's because we are friends of Taiwan and we want to protect Taiwan in a moment of need that we ask Taiwan, please get rid of this problem, which is damaging you in a crucial historical moment for you. Get rid of this problem, get rid of your bad past, walk in the path of democracy, and solve the Tai Ji Men case.
Just like what Dr. Massimo mentioned in the video, if the unjust Tai Ji Men case is only a tax case, a lawyer could deal with it. But in fact, the master and dizi of Tai Ji Men has gone through all legal channels, to the 5 yuans, and even to the president, but to no avail. The Tai Ji Men unjust case is a persecution of human rights and a political purge, hurting for more than tens of thousands of families over decades. And next, I would like to invite our first keynote speaker, Mr. Nick, a fighter who insists on human rights and justice. Hello, Nick.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nick from Taiwan. I'm married and have one cute daughter, Ellie. My wife's family of origin is mostly a Tai Ji Men family. Therefore, the family's atmosphere is very harmonic, which impressed me with what Tai Ji Men is. I try to join Tai Ji Men's activity in order to understand the spirit of Tai Ji Men and eventually became a Tai Ji Men dizi. Not only do we practice Qigong, but Shifu also been teaching us the importance of conscious. With the conscious, we could distinguish right from wrong and also could help this world to be better. I'm the account manager in one semiconductor company, worldwide top 200. Even though the working tempo is very intensive and stressful, I could still use Qigong to release my stress and bend emotion in order to better help the team and the customer to have win-win status. Especially, I would like to thank Dr. Hong for creating this environment for everyone and make all the dizi better. I would like to share my statement on the Tai Ji Men tax case. In 1996, the government cracked down on religion and the spiritual movement accused of supporting opposition parties. The campaign also targeted Tai Ji Men, although it had not taken a political stance. Tai Ji Men assets were frozen, and it's very ridiculous that Dr. Hong was accused of raising gamblers. Those actions are carried out by the order of Prosecutor Hong of Taipei Court. This harm is not recoverable and unforgettable. What's the basis of these claims? Members of Tai Ji Men, like me, are dizi. We offer gift to Dr. Hong. We recognize Dr. Hong as our shifu, master. These gifts are included in red envelopes, a traditional Taiwanese culture. From 1999 to 2000, both Taiwan's Minister of Finance and the Deputy Minister of Finance publicly state that tax claim would be withdrawn if Dr. Hong and his co-defendants were acquitted in the criminal court. In fact, Dr. Hong and his co-defendant were acquitted for all criminal charges, but National Tax Bureau continued to claim that money in the red envelope was the tuition fee and maintain the tax bill. The most important is that in 2007, the Supreme Court explicitly stated that Dr. Hong was not guilty of tax evasion. In 2018, the Supreme Administrative Court ruled that the content of red envelope should be treated as gift instead of tuition fee. The base of 20 years prosecution of Tai Ji Men tax case by the National Tax Bureau had finally been removed, but it's not the end of this tax case. Tax bill from 1991 to 1996 was removed except for the 1992 because it was finalized by Supreme Administrative Court in 2006. This event is not closed yet, but we will still fight for the justice. From the case, I want to emphasize that it seems this battle is about money. The money here refers to the illegal bonus in the legal tax system, but it's not for Tai Ji Men only. It's for justice. The legal fee and the social resource spent in the 24 struggle is much greater than the amount of money the National Tax Bureau settled with Tai Ji Men. We didn't settle because of existing unconscious and justice. We hope that we can keep insisting on justice and do the right thing in order to make this world better.
Thank you, Nick. It is the hope and love in the hearts so that the master and dizi of Tai Ji Men could fight for human rights and justice for so long. And let's invite our next speaker, Gina, to share her thoughts and story. Hi, Gina.
Hi, I'm Gina. I'm an undergraduate student and a tutor of math and English. I've been a Tai Ji Men teacher for more than 3 years. Practicing Qigong makes us feel fresh and has numerous health benefits. I've been told about Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy Unjust case since the day I joined this big family. As a 23 years old person, I can't believe this case has lasted longer than my lifetime. About 2 years ago, I started to study the Tai Ji Men taxation case from books and people who have been participating in it for the entire time. The more I learned about this case, the angrier I became about how Tai Ji Men was treated by the government. I like to say the Tai Ji Men case cannot be ignored by society, not to mention the government. Why? Because the Tai Ji Men case is considered the biggest taxation injustice case in Taiwan. The case should have never existed. In 1996, the first presidential election of Taiwan was held. At that time, the Taiwanese government tried to ban inappropriate religion in Taiwan. However, the prosecutors and tax officer prosecuted Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy without any piece of evidence or any investigation. They claimed that Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy was a religious organization with gambling, racing, and tax evasion. At the end of 2019, the National Taxation Bureau of Central Area corrected the tax bills to zero for the 5 years for 1991, 93, 94, 95, and 96, based on the Supreme Administrative Court's decision number 422 and in accordance with Taxpayer Rights Protection Act. It's the same result as a criminal sentencing back in 2007. When Tai Ji Men thought the nightmare had ended, the National Taxation Bureau still insisted Tai Ji Men pay taxes for the year 1992. The National Taxation Bureau was forcing Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy to pay the taxes owed. In the summer of 2020, I attended my first protest relating to the Tai Ji Men case. I stood in front of the Administration Enforcement Agency, calling on our government to revoke their decision of having an auction. No matter how hard we tried to tell our government, nobody came out from the building. The National Taxation Bureau even auctioned off Tai Ji Men's land in Miaoli in August 2020. That being said, I still affirm that Tai Ji Men is innocent. It is not right for the government to do such an injustice to anyone. As a Tai Ji Men dizi, we learn how to practice Qigong to improve our physical and mental functions to better ourselves. We learn how to treat ourselves, friends, families, and the world with love and consciousness. The most important lesson we've learned is to recognize right from wrong. We are here calling our government to see how incorrect it is the judgment of this case. Please, be a good model for the next generation. I know it's not our current government's fault because this case was prosecuted 25 years ago. Nevertheless, our current government definitely has a duty to get involved, give the properties back to the Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy, and clear the name of the Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy. Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy is not guilty. Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy should not be punished like this. I'm asking our government to start facing the problems and deal with them before it gets deeper, which includes more expenses and more administrations forced to be involved. All in all, I'm only 23 years old, but I'm facing injustice as a result of a case that is older than me. Can you imagine how powerless I feel about it? My wish is that our government hears our voice out loud once and for all. Be brave and end the nightmare faced by Tai Ji Men Qigong practitioners. No one says it's going to be easy to fix the issues, but the longer you are stalling, the deeper the holes you will need to fill. I'm here calling on our government to stop taking our youth away from us. Please ensure a bright future for Tai Ji Men Qigong Academy, all the victims from unfair taxation cases, and Taiwanese citizens.
Thank you for your sharing, Gina. Just like what she said, the government has to truly practice the transformation of justice and redress all the fabricated cases in Taiwan to create a better future for the people. And next, I would like to invite our last speaker, Ruby, who grew up in the big family of Tai Ji Men, to share her story of fighting for human rights. Please take your time, Ruby.
Hello everyone, my name is Ruby. I'm a college student and also a Tai Ji Men dizi. Tai Ji Men, where people take care of each other, gives the younger me a lot of security and happiness. that I consider as my second home. I never forget when I started practicing Qigong, my shifu told me that I have to be brave to be out for the challenge. Learning from shifu's guidance, I gradually comprehend how to live a better version of myself and put it into practice in my daily life. As I grow up, knowing the Tai Ji Men case, which has encountered injustice for 25 years, the only mind that comes to me is to fight for justice. We should pay tax according to law, so do the government impose a tax on us. Tai Ji Men case originated from a prosecutor, Ho Kwan-ren, who illegally investigated our practicing place without bringing the warrant and hyped it through the media in 1996. He regarded the red envelope the Tai Ji Men dizi faithfully gifted to shifu as tuition and forced the NTB for more taxation. Throughout the process of an administrative appeal, the NTB ignored the evidence we provided and blindly made the tax bill by the false indictment. After 10 years and 3 months of litigation, the court finally determined that Tai Ji Men has no fraud, no tax evasion, and no violation of the Tax Collection Act in the third trial in 2007. Although the court has vindicated Tai Ji Men and our shifu, the NTB remanded the tax bill imposed in 1992 and illegally expropriated shifu's property through the Administrative Enforcement Agency. This case has been tangling for 25 years. The duration is long enough to let someone grow up or pass away. Therefore, I wonder how the government could treat people unjustly and why the tax officer turned a blind eye to the truth. The purpose of making laws is to protect human rights, not to increase the official's benefit. According to the Ministry of Finance statistics, the taxation has charged over 400 billion this year. Where did the exact tax revenue go? Our government enhances the tax officer's performance by giving them tax incentives without a legal basis. However, not only do the tax incentives prompt the tax officer to make irrational tax bills, but increase the financial burden on the public. As a young generation, I refuse the heavy financial burden to get down our life in the future. On the other hand, only if the government returns the arbitrage taxation, people will trust it and pay the tax bill willingly. Without the Tai Ji Men case, I would not dig deeper into these unjust things that happen in Taiwan. I used to see the word in the book. Practice cannot foresee the results. Whatever the results are, practice will last forever. Our shifu always tells dizi to be a doer. My brothers, sisters, and many experts have walked on the streets for conveying our messages through countless demonstrations year by year. We persist to do the right things, hope the government takes the tax issue seriously, immediately revoke the illegal tax bill, and truly prove the value of a democratic country. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruby. From the Tai Ji Men case, she could notice the problems of the legal and taxation system in Taiwan, and she also realized the value and power of practice. We believe that this society needs such people like this. The government's job is to protect and uphold justice and human rights of the people. As the president of Taiwan has once said, she hopes that this country will lead with conscience and regard, will put human rights as the foundation of this country's law. However, for decades, those active violations of human rights are still going on. No matter how much time the people have been spending, taking to the streets and protesting against the injustice and violation, none of the government officials have made any response to the people. Right now, the Tai Ji Men case has been brought to the United Nations, and now the whole world is watching Taiwan. And we really hope that the President Tsai and all the leaders of Taiwan can follow their conscience, the human rights deeply rooted in our hearts, truly practice the transformation of justice they have been promising, fix all the mistakes of the past, and create a better future for the people. And last, we would like to share a song, Love of the World, with all of you. Thank you for watching. Hope you all have a good day. And if you like our video, please share, like, and subscribe us. Bye!